Thank you for joining with me this morning, as always. The story is told in the Bible of how Jesus took Peter and James and John up a mountain to pray, and as they did once or twice, they fell asleep. When they awoke, they experienced something they would never forget, because Jesus was there, but also Moses and Elijah were there. Peter was for building tents. Let's stay up here, he said. But then there's a voice, and it's the voice of God, and he simply says, "This is my son, listen to him." And Luke tells us that the three disciples were silent. What was there to say? There are some experiences in life when words are frankly inadequate. Words can't express how you feel when perhaps you hold your first newborn child. I remember writing to a young couple some years ago, and I wrote, "My heart's breaking for you. What words can I say? Like you, I ask why. But please know you're my thoughts and prayers, for a long-awaited child was very ill." Sometimes silence is the right response, and yet most of us, including me, are afraid of it. We're uncomfortable when conversation wanes, but there are times when the situation demands it. A father tells of the loss of his young daughter to leukemia, and he said, "The worst moment of all came one night when my daughter said to me, 'When will all this leukemia go away?' And he said, 'I just don't know, sweetheart.' And there was a long silence, and then she said, 'Have you asked God when it will go away?' How do you respond to such childlike directness at a time when heavens are silent? I've sat with families who have lost a loved one, and I worry about giving answers that sound as if it comes out of some ministerial handbook. God's ways are not always our ways, and some questions frankly have no answers. We can but wait and trust, for we see through a glass darkly, but one day we believe we will see clearly, face to face. Silence is often the best response when we're in the presence of something that's greater than ourselves. No wonder Peter, James and John were silent. This really is dust meeting destiny. Now, in the night before Waterloo, Napoleon's commanders come in one by one. They come into the tent and they didn't say a word. Each simply shook his hand, walked out, ready to die for their beloved general. There is a time for silence. There is a time for shutting out all other noises, and Peter, James and John realised that. They were silent when they heard the voice of God speak and say, "This is my son, listen to him." But I do believe after the darkness comes the dawn. I ask you to join me next week. I've got a rather lovely wee story that I'll share with you, which maybe explains better what I'm trying to say. Whatever darkness you may be going through just now, I earnestly pray that indeed the dawn is just around the corner. God bless you as you wait.